filmed this video a couple months ago. I was not doing well. Coming to terms with my first big backpacking trip ending 6 months early was really hard. But now I'm not as fucking depressed. My self-esteem was at an all-time low, and I think you can tell this in my voice and the kind of topics I was discussing. Like in my 2019 video, I didn't even mention the fact that my dad died. So I'm going to refilm this. It is currently the 26th of July 2020, and I am 23 years old. First off, I want to speak about the Black Lives Matter movement. It feels weird taking up any kind of space on the internet without at least mentioning it. The last few months have been a lot to take in terms of racial injustice. I had no idea how bad it was, honestly. And that's just me, a privileged white girl from a well-off background, and I didn't think I was racist. I'd never actually come across the term systemic before George Floyd's death, which just shows how kind of under a rock I was about the whole thing. Although I may not have been like outwardly racist, I've had my eyes open to the like unconscious bias that I held, and I'm trying to unlearn. There are many other people who could speak about this far more accurately and articulately than I, so I'll leave some resources in the description if you want to do some research or learn more about it. Okay, I read a book recently called Women Don't Owe You Pretty by Florence Givens. It's quite literally changed my life. I was in a really shitty and dark place. I don't know, I was upset that I'd been single for 3 years and I like hadn't found a boyfriend yet. I just like started viewing myself the way I did when I was like 15, which was like this frumpy, awkward weirdo, and it wasn't a good mental state to be in. After reading this book, I finally became comfortable with being single again, and not only being single right now, but being single for the rest of my life, which I don't think I've ever been comfortable with before. I don't really think the one exists. I think there could be lots of ones, but I don't think the one exists. The media like romanticizes everything, and like it leads us to believe that you need to find like one person to share your life with, and if you don't do that, then your life's not fulfilled in any way. And that's just such bullshit. That's such bullshit. Why should my fulfillment be reliant on external validation from another person? Like, fuck that. Absolutely fuck that. This book also helped me come to terms with this like ongoing battle with my sexuality that I've had since maybe the age of 14. I'm fucking bisexual, and I'm so glad that I feel comfortable with the label. I used to just say like, oh, well, I'm pretty sure I'm not straight, but like, no, I'm bisexual. As a woman in Western society, I've been conditioned my whole life to hate other women. You are in competition with other women for the attention of men. So as a woman, having feelings for women in a patriarchal society is pointless, because if I'm not striving for the attention of a man, then I'm not worthy of respect. And that's just been drilled into me my whole life. Not necessarily directly, nobody's ever come up to me and told me those words, but that's just how the systemic patriarchy works. That's how the patriarchy works. Heteronormativity is so systemically drilled into our society that I was like really scared to fall in love with a woman, because then like my life wouldn't be fulfilled in some way. And that's also why I've never dated a woman, probably. I was always the girl that was like, oh, I think women are attractive, but I'll probably always end up with a man. And I think that's why a lot of bisexuals don't date the same sex until like later in life, because of like heteronormativity. Yeah. Women are fucking great, and I'm fucking bisexual.
So it's October now. Funny how time works, isn't it? I'm finally at a place in my life where I'm not focused on the future. I wrote this a few months ago, and that's like somewhat still true. This is why these videos are so interesting, because I go through like 17 iterations of myself every year. So like the version of myself that wrote this earlier in the year isn't the version of me that I am now. It says here, I'm truly living in the present, or like the immediate future. I've always been a planner. I think the version of me that wrote this, it was like just before we went on the van trip, and I was thinking about the present a lot, because that's where I was, and the present was really interesting and exciting. Whereas now I'm living back in Cardiff, working in the pub again, which is where I was right before I left for Asia, and then Miss Rona turned up. So my present day isn't overly exciting. I mean, it is. I'm like doing things and I'm enjoying myself, but I'm just itching to like go, to just leave. I want to go places. I want to see things, but I can't. And I'm dealing with that at the moment.
Hello, editing Suze here. I just wanted to address the fact that this next section gets like kind of depressing. I filmed this like maybe a week or two ago, and I think I talk later about hormonal depression. It was like a week before my period, so I'm kind of depressed, kind of depressing. I'm doing okay now, but like we're back in lockdown here in Cardiff, in Wales. Well, yeah, in Wales, the entire country. So life's not interesting necessarily from day to day, but like I'm fine. I'm struggling with depression on and off. However, yeah, I just come across as really like sad in the next section, but I'm okay. I'm doing okay. This year has been weird. Just wanted to address that like this is kind of depressing, but yes, I'm depressed, but I'm fine. I'm good. It's fine.
It's really bright. I should put some sunscreen on. Or can I do this? Yeah, that works. There we go. That's better. Is that better? Let's check. I've become very aware of my hormone cycle. When I was in Laos back in March, I had to take a morning after pill. And it must have been like a stupidly high dose of hormones, because I got super depressed and super anxious for the next week. My period started a couple of days later, but then I didn't have a period for like nearly 2 months, and I was just in this awful headspace, and it was frustrating because I took it like maybe a couple of weeks before having to fly home, and then lockdown was immediately announced, so I was just trapped in lockdown with these hormones rushing through me, and I just felt like shit. I felt awful. But it's nice to be able to recognise my hormonal depression and my hormonal anxiety. Now that life is kind of starting up again, I don't necessarily notice it as quickly and being like, oh, okay, it is hormones, it's fine. But it's easier to recognise now. I can be like, oh god, I'm feeling this way. Oh wait, when's my period? And if it's like a week from then, I'll be like, that's what this is. Okay, it'll pass. Don't worry, it's just your hormones. And it's nice to be able to recognise that. And my last little section is kind of light-hearted. I've recently opened a shop selling jewellery. I'll pop the link in the description. I carved little avocado stones. Let me get some of them. Oh, it's not going in focus, is it? No, I'll pop some photos up. Yeah, I put them into little like pendants, and I sell them. And then 50% of the profit that I make from the shop goes towards donations to Ocean Voyages Institute, which is a really cool organisation. They're non-profit and they help clean up plastic out of the ocean. Yeah, I think that's it. This is me in 2020.